This is Alice Shu, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Kraft food plant that was here in Oswego. It's August 19th, 2025. Well, Alice, you said that your husband Dale came out of the service, and what were his plans when he came out of the service to do for a job?
He planned to go to Tulsa to Spartan School of Flying, learn to fly. He wanted to be a pilot because he had got to fly a little bit while he was in the Air Force, and he liked it.
So he didn't really have a pilot's license in the Air
No,
Force. He
no.
just got to
It was just
practice.
where he was at. They let. I think they were very lenient.
Sure, it was probably a flight school there that he went with. So then why did he end up working for Kraft?
Well, because he wanted to get married and he needed a job. And he had a brother-in-law who worked for Kraft who told him that there was an opening. And so we moved to Oswego. We got married and moved to Oswego. And he bought it. In those days, you had to buy your truck and you bought your route.
That's a big expense to buy a truck and a route.
We ended up in debt the minute we got married. Not the greatest way to start out a marriage, but and his route went up around McCune. And I remember in 1951 when we had a terrible flood, and even though they had said that the highway down over the hill east of Oswego would never flood, the very first year it was built, it flooded. And so he had to stay with, I think he stayed with, oh my goodness, don't tell me I've lost those people's names. Anyway, he stayed across the river with one of his
So he could run his route.
And he took his milk to Erie, to the creamery there. And I don't remember what the Erie Creamery was called, but that's where he took his milk.
So when we were talking about routes, milk routes, what does that involve, a route?
Well, it involved an area, a certain area of the county, and his was the area around McCune, Kansas.
Okay, so he went around to farmers?
Yes, he would go to farmers. They had these big milk cans, which stood about 3 feet tall, and he had a truck. In the beginning, he had just a truck with a flatbed truck, and he would load these. He would go to the farmers and load these cans of milk up on this flatbed truck. And I don't remember how he kept them in place. It must have had some kind of a little siding on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then years later, he bought a covered truck. And that's why the garage we have now has this immense opening, is because that's where he used that for his milk truck.
Mm-hmm.
But I get lost of where I'm at in my stories.
Well, we were just talking about what a route was, because I don't think everybody nowadays would know what a milk route really entails. But the farmers would milk their cows of a morning, and he'd come around and pick up the milk.
And it covered several miles.
Mm-hmm. So then did he ever use the Kraft plant here in Oswego? Did he have to deliver milk to that?
That's where he brought his milk.
Okay. But you said something earlier about him going to Erie. That was just when it was
That was
flooded
just
out?
when it was flooded,
Okay.
and he had to stay across the river.
Okay. When do you think the Kraft plant opened here in Oswego?
Well, my goodness, I don't know, because it was going great by the time we ever moved here.
Yeah.
His brother-in-law worked for Kraft, and I don't know how long it had gone on before then, but they had field men, who were men who went out in the country and talked the farmers into selling their cream to Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they had 2 field men.
So what did the Kraft company do with the milk they brought in here to Oswego? Do you know what they made out here in Oswego? Did they process it and send it on somewhere else, or did they make cheese or anything out of it here?
Well, I know the one in Erie made cheese. I do not remember Oswego
Uh-huh.
making cheese. I think they tanked it out.
Well, I know
On a
what
tank.
I went as a kid. I went to tour the Kraft plant with Girl Scouts or something, and I remember this great big steel vat in the middle of the building, stirring this milk product, and it smelled horrible. And then other farmers would come and get the whey, which was an off product of making something. So I don't know if they were making cheese or cottage cheese or what they were making. And then the farmers would come and get that whey. And what did they use the whey for, the farmers? Do you know?
The pigs.
Yes. They fed it to the pigs, and the pigs loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you remember more about the Kraft plant than I do.
Well, that
I
was
guess.
just,
But they made cheese. And everybody ate Kraft cheese.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. As I was mentioning earlier, I can remember riding with my dad on his milk route. Do you think they had bulk milk by 55, 56, 1955? Because I feel like he had a bulk milk truck, but he may not have.
I think they did.
Because I don't remember him ever loading milk
I
cans into a
remember
truck.
that now. I'd forgotten that. Yes, they did. The tanker truck.
Yeah, uh-huh. Right. And I think they
And
probably
your
still do
dad
that.
had one of those?
Yeah, I think so. But I
Well,
don't know if he had to buy it because we were dirt poor. You know, I don't know if he had to buy that truck or if the Kraft company owned it or what. I don't know that he would ever had money to buy a truck like that. But anyway.
well, by the time Dale had his heart attack and had to sell his milk route, he had an enclosed truck. When he first
Mm-hmm.
started, the milk cans just sat on a
Mm-hmm.
flatbed truck,
Mm-hmm.
and then he bought this truck, and that's, like I say, why our garage is so big.
Yeah.
It's because it was a covered truck.
Right.
And I don't remember how long he had it, the route, until he had to sell it.
And I thought it was interesting that after both Dale and my dad stopped working for Kraft, they both worked at filling stations for a while.
Yeah.
My dad ran the Sinclair station, and right across the street, Aubrey Price had a
And
filling station. And you said Dale worked across
Dale
there for a while.
worked for Aubrey until he got a job with the co-op, which was a much
Better job. for
better
him.
job, paid much better, had a retirement.
Yeah.
And
A lot of jobs back in the day, they didn't. Retirement? What in the world's that? You know. And I don't know if even Kraft would have had retirement plans back in the day.
I still get a little retirement from
Kraft? From the co-op?
from the co-op.
Yeah.
Every month I get
Uh-huh.
it goes into my savings
Yeah.
account. I live on Social Security, but my Kraft or my co-op,
Co-op.
money goes into a savings account.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Miss Ellis.